live at the Patriots headquarters in Arizona. In less than 24 hours, 60 minutes of football will determine the winner. Super Bowl is always crowned champions. However, this game will create a legacy. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this live Super Bowl edition of Patriots All Access presented by Geico. I'm Steve Burton. Yes, tomorrow, the two teams will battle on the field, but tonight it is a battle of anticipation. These guys are fired up and ready to go and about to play the biggest game of their careers. After withstanding a cyclone of controversy, the Patriots arrived in Arizona last Monday, and immediately Robert Kraft got off the bus and delivered a speech in defense of his team. Dan Roach reports the owner's remarks not only kicked off a new chapter for the players, but it also refocused the franchise.
There you go.
Pretty sweet right there. On to the Super Bowl. Feels good.
Tickets. Everybody wants one. And before the players headed west, they did their best to take care of family and friends.
It was good to let my family come see me play at the highest level.
I only have one thing to say. We're on to Seattle.
And now that they've punched their ticket to Super Bowl 49 here in Arizona, they have an opportunity to cash in the golden ticket and cement their legacy in the NFL history books.
This game's huge, no doubt. It leaves a legacy on the organization. It leaves a legacy on Tom Brady. It leaves a legacy on myself. It leaves a legacy on every single player, every single person that's involved in this organization.
Meanwhile, Tom Brady and Vince Wilfork are the only players remaining from the last Patriots championship team.
Everybody asks me what it feels like to be a Super Bowl champion. It's something that you really can't put into words. It's just the feeling that you have being a world champion.
I didn't realize how hard it was, and I think that was, gaining some perspective and some experience on trying to get to this point. And then, we've got to this point. We just haven't, won this game. So. This would be an incredible achievement. I mean, I obviously realize how hard it is to win the Super Bowl.
The team standing in their way, the defending champion Seattle Seahawks, a team that's looking to repeat as title winners for the first time since the Patriots did it 10 years ago.
It's definitely going to be the best team we face all year. That's why they're in the Super Bowl. If not the best defense, one of the best defenses we've definitely seen all year.
Yeah, I've watched more film than I think I've ever watched in my life. So, I feel like I know these guys pretty well. I know how they play. I got a lot of respect for the way they play.
One of the interesting matchups will be tight end Rob Gronkowski. You just heard from him. Gronk is certainly that big body that the Patriots like to use a lot. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Cam Chancellor, the big safety for Seattle, who's come in, got hurt early, has been very effective down the stretch. He could be on him. That, as Brandon Browner said, could be a matchup for the ages. So Seattle's secondary is banged up. And speaking of Chancellor, he banged the knee in practice yesterday, but Pete Carroll said today he's expected to be fine. As far as the Patriots are concerned, good news tonight. Center Brian Stork upgraded from questionable to probable with a knee. That is certainly good news as they try to protect Tom Brady and run the football with Blunt and company. Steve?
All right, Roachie, thank you very much. And, Richard Sherman's girlfriend's about to give birth to a baby tomorrow. That could be tomorrow. So there's a lot going on in that secondary. Joining me now is former Patriot tight end Christian Fourier. And let me look at this for a second, okay?
All right.
Because you got a crowd with you, all right? You got a crowd here.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, but hold on. Here's what I need to do. Here's what I need to do. Yeah, you got a crowd here. I understand that. But let me put you on the spot right now. You played 103 games with Seattle.
Yeah, 7 years.
7 years with Seattle, 64 games with New England.
Yeah.
Where's your loyalty? Be careful.
I am not emotionally invested in the Seattle Seahawks whatsoever. All my support and my loyalty goes to the New England Patriots. I mean, how could it not, right? I mean, I was there 4 years, but I probably had more experience, good experiences, and lifetime experiences that I would take with me forever by winning 2 Super Bowls than I ever did in 7 years in Seattle.
Playing tight end with the Patriots. Patriots already have a big tight end, Rob Gronkowski. Can they take advantage of the middle of the field against the Seahawks tomorrow.
Listen, he had a lot of success the first time they played against the Seahawks when he was a rookie. So I'm thinking, listen, they're going to try and go at him. They're going to try and stop him. But you've seen it. Nobody has stopped him yet. Even in the first playoff game, they slowed him down a little bit in the second playoff game, but he was still able to catch some footballs and score touchdowns. And listen, if you can't stop him, then you're going to have a long day. But mostly, I don't think anyone can do it.
All right. I'll get your prediction tomorrow.
Oh, prediction.
Yeah, tomorrow.
All right, send me out. Let's go.
No, all right. Send him out. Oh, we're having a lot of fun here. Thank you very much, Christian.
That was for you, too, though.
I appreciate that. We still have much more to come on this live Patriots Super Bowl edition of Patriots All Access, coming to you live from Arizona. Stay with us.
Coming up on All Access.
We hear from the head coach as he gets ready for his 9th Super Bowl.
I think we just, got to do the things that got us here, not try to get too far away from that. And it's against a real good football team, so there's less margin for error.
And later, the Patriots defensive backs describe their journey to Super Bowl 49.
Nobody in this group is exactly the same. Everybody brings a different flavor to the group, and I think that's what's made us good all year.
You're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Putnam Investments, a proud partner of the New England Patriots, pursuing performance excellence through new ways of thinking. And by Gillette FlexBall, the official shave of the New England Patriots. And by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the New England Patriots. Patriots All Access is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Left, intercepted. Rodney Harrison at the 20. He falls down, and that is it. Kick is on the way, and it is good. It's good. It's good. And the Patriots are Super Bowl champions. It is over. We're Super Bowl champions again. And the Patriots are world champions again. Back to back. World championships. 3 out of 4. Yes, it's a dynasty.
Sweet memories indeed. Welcome back to the Super Bowl edition of Patriots All Access. We're coming to you live from the Patriots headquarters here in Arizona. Tomorrow will be Bill Belichick's 9th Super Bowl. 9th. That is unbelievable of his illustrious career. There have only been 48 played so far, and this week the coach concedes that the Seattle Seahawks will be his toughest test of the season when he sat down with Scott Zolak earlier this week.
All right, Coach, I heard you talk during this week, coming out and talking about the Seahawks and Pete Carroll and how you and he kind of came up, not through the ranks, but in essence being defensive guys. Is there some irony to the fact that here you are coaching against him in the Super Bowl? In essence, you did replace him here.
You know what? We've always had a good relationship, so sometimes business takes its own twists and turns. But bottom line is, I have a lot of respect for Pete and what he's done with his football team at Seattle. But also what he did at USC, and really even before that with the Patriots. I mean, it was a good football team when he was here too.
We'll talk to you a little bit about Russell Wilson. You start prepping for this game. You start reading a ton. The stats aren't. It's not Drew Brees. It's not Peyton Manning. It's not Tom Brady. But something about the kid where at the end of the game he finds ways to win games. And you said a long time ago, stats are for losers. You view him that same way?
Yeah, I mean, I think
matter?
Right. I think he plays his best football in the fourth quarter when it's most important, when the game's on the line. So you got to give him a lot of credit for that. And, you know, he makes the plays that he needs to make for their team to win, whether it's keeping the ball on an option, whether it's a scramble play, or whether it's a big throw. You know, the post pass, post pattern he hit on Green Bay, you know, that was a huge play for him. I mean, it's, you know, kind of go all game and don't see that, but then when they, at the right moment when they needed it, he put the ball right on the money.
So you brought Roger Staubach's name to the table, and all my years doing this with you, I've never heard the Staubach comparison. That's some lofty praise for that kid.
Well, I just remember watching Staubach. There were just so many times where it seemed like he was hemmed in. Guy was about to get him. The guy was about to come in there and blow him up from the blind side, and he just seemed to have that sixth sense of knowing where he was and either duck him or avoid him or go back the other way or somehow get out of it. It was like Houdini-like, and you know, you see many of those plays from Wilson on film too. It looks like he's got nothing, and all of a sudden, you know, he's in the clear. You don't really know how he does it. So that's what I meant. It kind of reminded me of that. You know, Staubach's a great pure passer. We're talking about a Hall of Fame player.
Sure.
Here. So, not saying that Russell Wilson, but I'm just saying his escapability reminded me of Staubach.
I remember the 2012 game. I want to go back to the regular season game out there in Seattle. They had a pretty big corner at that time by the name of Brandon Browner, and I remember a couple good hits on a couple of your receivers, and he was a member of their championship team last year. You guys went and acquired Darrelle Revis in the offseason. You brought both those guys in to help bolster your defense. How much of those two guys changed your team defensively and helped get you to this game?
Well, they've definitely helped us, no question about it. You know, we've gotten good play out of a lot of guys in our secondary, and of course we, you know, didn't have Brandon for the early part of the season. So, you know, but he's given us, you know, that big matchup guy that, you know, you definitely need. And of course, Reeves has given us a very high level of play on a consistent basis. So glad we have both of them.
All right, Super Bowl Sunday. It's the biggest stage and the biggest game. And I talked to you a little bit about this last week, you know, during the off week, getting ready for this game to make the trip out here. What do you tell your team Saturday night to keep Sunday as normal as possible? Because it's a long day, you know, 6:30 kick Eastern. What do you tell your team, you know, without giving us the, you know, trade secrets?
Well, I think we just, you know, got to do the things that got us here, not try to get too far away from that, and just, as you said, be ready for a longer day. We're going to need a full day of concentration, focus, and execution, which we would need anyway, but it'll be a little bit longer Sunday, and it's against a real good football team, so there's less margin for error. So we're really going to have to be, you know, well-rested, sharp, alert, and try to expend our energy on the field and not off it in something else, so we can, you know, dedicate all of our energy and effort towards the Seattle Seahawks.
All right, Scott Zolak joins me now, and you'll be calling the Super Bowl for the first one.
First one.
I want to ask you about Bill Belichick, because during media day, Gerard Mayo's daughter made him smile from ear to ear. The other day, he posed with the Super Bowl trophy along with Pete Carroll. Is he more relaxed than ever when it comes to the Super Bowl?
It's a really good question, Steve. You know, I even go back to, you know, the Indianapolis Super Bowl where there was even stuff written, and you do the Radio Row stuff, actual articles, if Bill and Brady win this, will Bill walk away? And it seemed like he was really stepping back and kind of smelling the roses. And, you know, he seemed relaxed then. I think he's 10 times more relaxed at this one. I mean, it's a fantastic environment. You got all the friends, the family. You know, people have been supporting the team throughout everything. Everybody's kind of embraced this whole year. You know, and I go back to Week 5, Kansas City, where things didn't seem like they were going too well, and I said, just give it some time, and here we are out in Arizona having some fun, get ready for Super Bowl 49.
Can the team play off that when they see the coach being relaxed?
I think they act the way that their head coach and their quarterback act. If they're relaxed, this team's going to be ready to go tomorrow.
I think they will be. All right, Scott, thank you very much. Man. We'll see you a little later on in the show. Still ahead, a chat with Darrelle Revis, Brandon Browner, and the rest of the Patriots secondary. When Patriots All Access continues in just a moment. Stay with us.
Shout when he clap that thing down. I don't say.
Change Reeves.
I see everybody got their playoff beer still alive. You know, a little more than others. Hey, you want to wait already? I thought we were doing that.
I'm talking. I told this.
Oh, what a unit that is, and they certainly know how to have a whole lot of fun. Welcome back to Patriots All Access. We're at the Patriots headquarters, and we're just having a blast here as well. Yeah, one man is an island. One has returned after a year away, playing against his old team. Yet another has anchored the secondary with his quiet strength. This team, this secondary is so strong right now, and they'll match their skill set against anyone in football.
Knocked down by a diving Darrelle Revis. McCourty picks it off. Defense! Intercepted by Patrick Chung. Harrington is gone. It's bobbled and it's picked off by Browner.
Nobody in this group is exactly the same. Everybody brings a different flavor to the group, and I think that's what's made us good all year.
It throws down the middle, open receiver, bobbled, and then the deflection picked off by Devin McCourty.
Everybody knows D. He's a crazy guy of the group.
I wear the crown proudly. We play a crazy game.
Laying out and swatting the pass down in front of Golden Tate.
Cash money play right there.
You know, adding me and Brandon, and then, you know, Patrick coming back. I mean, sky's the limit. You know, we saw the opportunities that we had.
These dudes on and off the field, we can hang around, we can talk a little crap, you know, and, you know, give each other a little hard time, and it's easy to play against guys that you like, you know, so it's definitely a better to be back here, man. I love it, man, and, you know, I'm grateful.
I miss you too.
I miss you too, man. You too, baby.
I ain't getting all that.
All that love you, man.
Y'all don't like to get sentimental, man.
You quiet, man.
This is where it all counts. This is why we're here. This is why each one of us are here.
And we're a competitive bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Whether that's on the field or off the field. I mean, we play a lot of games in the locker room. Yeah. We got a thing called a trash ball.
I'm the best. I will
say that.
First ballot Hall of Fame.
We bring a ball in. You know, we take the garbage cans out the trash cans, and we're playing basketball.
We take the trash bag out the trash can. We don't take the trash can out the trash can.
All right, they know what I meant. They know what I meant. Well, all right. He might have trash ball, but I'm the best on the actual real court.
No, you're not. I love you, bro, with all my heart. But I'm gonna go. He's just more consistent. He's just more consistent.
First ballot Hall of Famer. They told me, bro.
When people finish playing us, they know what's up.
I'm just happy to be around these group of guys, man. It definitely, we have a good group, man. All and off the field, and it's awesome.
What size hat you wear?
7'5", baby. I got that big head. Wow.
The talent we have across the board is something I've never seen before. and being a part of it, man, I'm humble and excited to be a part of this group, man, because this what makes it great. You know, everybody has their own you know, different personalities, but at the same time, you know, we can set our egos aside to do what we want to do, and that's be the best we can. And all collectively, us putting that together, man, that's what makes it great.
I'll never forget being in that Green Bay game, and at times everyone probably thinking we was out of the game, and this group just kept playing, the team kept playing. To know, you know, the guy I'm playing next to is going 100% to the end. I got to do my part, and, you know, I love this about this group. You know, individually, each one of these guys wants to be the best. And you put that together, you get a group that wants to be the best. So it starts from there, and that's where we wanted to finish, being the best.
Oh, what a secondary, and they are skilled. Joining me now is radio play-by-play man for the Patriots, Bob Socci from 98.5 The Sports Up. Give a round for Bob Socci, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Hey,
thank you.
You know what?
Thank you.
You've only been here 2 years. 2 years. And yet you get to call your Super Bowl.
Amazing. Steve.
How special is that for you? And what's going to be going through your mind going into this game?
Well, I've been trying to take a page from the players' book all week long. They've been talking about approaching this like any other game.
I'm
sure that's going to change tomorrow when we show up at the stadium. No doubt there'll be a lot of nervousness and excitement. It's been a fabulous week. You look around us, and it's another realization of what this team has accomplished and what it means to so many. And obviously a tremendous opportunity tomorrow, and I'm so privileged to just be a part of it on the periphery.
Your pulse of the team. You get a sense of this team's on just a right where they should be right now?
You know, I concur with my broadcast partner, Scott Zolak. I think the Patriots are very loose this week.
Yep.
They're very focused, and if anything, they're galvanized. They're on point for this contest for sure.
Bob Sosi. Good luck tomorrow, my friend.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bob Sosi, I guess we'll be back with more Patriots All Access live from Arizona in just a few. Stay with us.
What's that?
Coming up on All Access.
We sit down with the man who will start his record 6th Super Bowl, quarterback Tom Brady.
When I started a long time ago, I think the feelings toward me were very different than they are now, which I'm okay with.
You're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of the New England Patriots. And by Ace Ticket, the official fan travel partner of the Patriots. For information, call 1-800-MY-SEATS or visit aceticket.com.
Loses the ball. It's on the ground. Fires. Touchdown! Randy Moss! Gonna be sacked. No, he got out of it. Now he fires downfield, and it is not caught. He's looking for Burris in the end zone. He's wide open. Touchdown.
Well, that is one Super Bowl moment that's not so special. And Patriots fans don't want to see that repeated now that we are here, back here in Arizona. Yeah, welcome back to this live Super Bowl edition of Patriots All Access presented by Geico. His look has changed over the years, but one thing's for sure, the stage. Sure, the stage. Whatever stage has never been too big for Tom Brady. And tomorrow, he makes history as the first quarterback to lead his team to 6 Super Bowls. Here's Scott Zolak's conversation with TB12.
Six Super Bowls, more so than any other quarterback in NFL history. Now, there's a little caveat here. I remember the day when you were passed over and you were the 199th pick in the draft. Are you more like that guy, you know, as far as enjoying this week, or are you more like the guy that this is my 6-1, I've been here, I've done it, I'm ready to go? Which guy are you?
I think there's a little both. I think you got to, understand how great of an accomplishment it is to get here, but at the same time, there's still unfinished business. So you got to prepare. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of distractions. You can go here, there. There's family. There's hotels and tickets. And I think focusing on the task at hand is what ultimately is the most important thing. Because if you win this one, you get to enjoy it for a long time.
Under rush on the blind side. Ball is stripped by Tom. Four-man rush. Brady guns it down the middle. Picked off. Abdullah has a pick six.
They're not good anymore.
I remember traveling with you out to Kansas City week 5 and post game. You weren't real happy post Viking game to begin with, even though you guys won that game. It took time to get to where you guys are.
Absolutely, and it takes that way every year. And I think you just like a football game, you don't stop the game at the end of the first quarter and go, oh, well, that team won. You got to play it all the way out. So there's a lot of things over the course of the season that take place. You got to deal with a lot of matchups, the travel. The discipline of the team, the hard work that the guys put in, that all pays off in the end. And, that's why we're sitting here, and that's why we got a chance to go out there and win this thing.
Knocked down by Darrelle Revis. He read it all the way. Darrelle Revis in perfect position.
Number 24, Darrelle Revis. You've had some darn good games against him when he was a member of that team down south. How much has he helped your football team this year?
He's phenomenal. I mean, to see it every day in practice, the work he puts in, and how he's able to cover different guys, different size, speed matchups, inside, outside, left, right. I mean, he could do it all. So I'm glad I don't have to play against him. I'll tell you that. It's fun to be able to watch him, cover other guys on the field. So he's a pretty awesome player.
And the game is over, and the Patriots are Super Bowl champions. We're Super Bowl champions again. Back to back. World championships, 3 out of 4. Yes, it's a dynasty.
You look a lot different than you did in 2001. I'm sure you sit there and you see some of these videos rerun, and you know maybe the face was a little thicker, the hair was sure as heck was different. You're not that same guy. You know, you're going into your 6'1" here, and maybe not so much as the hero, but maybe in the villain type role. And I know maybe you embrace that, but I'm going to read this to you. There's this great line from A Dark Knight Rises. Quote, "Either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain." Well, how does that make you feel when you hear that, the villain role?
Yeah, well, I think it's a, you're right. When I started a long time ago, I think the feelings toward me were very different than they are now, which I'm okay with. You know, I think that's part of, you know, that comes with us going out there and winning games. It comes with, you know, a lot of people's perceptions of what I may be like. You know, there's very few people who know really what I'm like. You know, I get the opportunity to share that with people I, you know, want to, you know, support and care about and love, and vice versa. So, you know, in a lot of ways, I still feel like I'm the same kid from Portola Drive, and in a lot of ways, my life has changed. But how I grew up, you know, the role models that I had growing up, I still rely on to this day.
That inner circle that you have, just going back to, you know, the friends, the family, you know, maybe some of your golfing connections, some doctor connections, some health connections. You've kept your same inner circle. I think that's one of the most impressive things through 15 years, that it's the same people that have been there with you from day one. And that's helped you, hasn't it?
Absolutely. You know, it takes, you know, to get to this point in my career, or to get to this point as a team, you need so many people to support you in so many ways. And you can't do this alone. It's, you know, attrition sets in, and without support, it would wear you down to the point where you'd be hard to go out there and play at a high level of success. But, you know, I've had a lot of people that love me and support me, care about me, want me to do well. Certainly our fans have been unbelievable this season. You know, it's been a great year for us.
One of the cool things about playing, I think, our position is, you know, maybe I didn't get the chance to do it, but you get to maybe share this type of game with your son. You got 2 of them. You got Jack and Ben.
Yep.
Do they understand what that guy right there across from me sitting in that chair, what he's meant to the National Football League, or are they more concerned maybe getting out here hitting that water slide at the team hotel? Yeah,
I'm their dad, you know, so I think, you know, all this, they don't have any idea. Certainly my little Benny, he's not concerned about anything with playing sports. That's how it should be, you know. They're the most important thing in my life, and certainly my family is, and you know, they just cheer for Dad. They love Dad, you know, and obviously their dad loves them.
All right, back here with Scott Zolak. And let me ask you this, Scott. What is the difference with Brady in this Super Bowl compared to the other 5?
Interesting, the question about possibly being a villain. The one thing going into this Super Bowl, he has number 87, I think, that wears a red cape, and I think he's Superman. Weapons. He's got his full arsenal of weapons. You got LaFell on the outside. He's developed a nice rapport with Danny Amendola as the season's gone on, since he's gotten the touches. We all know about Julian Edelman. People forget about Tim Wright and Shane Vereen, and then you start concentrating on Gronkowski. Brady's going into this Super Bowl, I think, with more confidence than any of the other previous 5.
And he appreciates the moment. All
this
right,
is 6,
Scott.
right? 6 of them.
6,
yeah,
that's right.
There's a lot.
All right, you're right. All right, guys, we'll be back with more on the other side of this break. We'll talk about the Seattle Seahawks. Stay with us. We're coming to you live from Arizona. Nice.
All right, time now for Turf, brought to you by Gillette. We are at the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 49, extended version of Turf. We want to talk about Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, Richard Sherman.
Let's talk about Russell Wilson first. Let's talk about the read options. I think you're going to see a lot of this in this game. And most people, the shotgun formation is about 7 yards back. Russell Wilson, read option, it's 5 yards back. So here's the first option. Here comes Marshawn Lynch. Here's the mesh point right here. Russell Wilson's eyes are watching this defensive end. If he crashes, bam, he takes the ball and he's running. Second option, right? You got to be real active with your eyes if you're the quarterback. Here comes Marshawn Lynch. Now he sees the defensive end stay, so he gives him the ball. There's a big crease. There goes Marshawn Lynch. But here's the third option. You see this play done a lot in college right now. Here comes the third option. Here comes the mesh point right here. The end stays. He takes it.
Now block.
He's blocking. Now he can't run because the end's playing it clean. Rob Nikovich, Chandler Jones. But here it is, right? The pass off of that. The corner comes back. tries to force, tries to make a tackle. Wide receiver is wide open with a lot of green to run.
All right, get your Skittles out because we got to talk about Marshawn Lynch, beast mode. We talked all week to running backs on Radio Row. Yep. You do radio, I do radio. So 4 hours a day. You got the teetering. And what they talk about with teetering is when Marshawn Lynch gets the ball, you know, you see LeGarrette Blount, he'll cover it, he'll tiptoe, and then he'll go. But Marshawn Lynch tends to rock, get going, and what they talk about is that explosion off that jump cut.
Yeah, and they say like when he's running with a football, not only can he see what's coming, right, but he's able to put that foot down at the last minute, absorb any kind of contact, run through it, and get yards after contact. One of the best backs in the NFL, getting yards after he gets hit.
All right, Richard Sherman, corner. What happened in the NFC Championship game? Hurt the left elbow. So here's what's going to happen, all right? You're going to be Rob Gronkowski, so you can pretend you're a lot bigger than what you are.
He flexes out there, so we know he's going to be there, right? That's going to be a big physical matchup,
He's going to do what? Protect that left elbow.
So he just challenge him, right? Okay, running plays, pass plays. Let's see if you can get up. Let's grab that elbow. Oh, that hurts. Oh, there I go. Touchdown. Gronk, so give me some of that, right? All right, but here's what I really think you're going to challenge him, right? You have a Brandon LaFell out there, big wide receiver. Yep. Let's block him. And now let's go ahead and see if he can get off the block, and let's see if he's willing to commit to make a tackle. And you'll know right away if he feels good or not.
Plus, you could also do this. You take your running backs. We know what LeGarrette Blount can do. Brandon Bolden, number 38, could be big in this game. A little toss sweep, a little stretch play to that side. Take Gronk out, like you said. Bring him down that zip motion, crash it down, and then see if Richard Sherman can tackle.
We shall see. So who you got in this game?
I got Patriots by 14.
14? Sounds good. Later!
You guys certainly know their football. Welcome back. It's a live Super Bowl edition of Patriots All Access. You know, Seattle's Pete Carroll succeeded one legend in New England and preceded another. Jackie Britt reports how Carroll is staking his claim to be among the NFL's best coaches.
Nearly 18 years ago to the date, the Patriots made a historic hire. Pete Carroll was named head coach, the first head coach hired by owner Robert Kraft, and the 13th in franchise history.
I feel no pressure at all as far as what happened before. The pressure is every day working to get a championship way about us and work our way back to winning that Super Bowl.
Let's get this thing wrapped up. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah! Woo! How about it? Nice feet! Nice feet! Woo! Feet look good. Ball. He got it!
Carroll inherited a team fresh off a Super Bowl appearance, but after 3 underachieving seasons where the team's record regressed each and every year, he was fired.
I think he came into a difficult situation, but this is a business of accountability. We need a momentum change.
And to accelerate that momentum change, Robert Kraft hired Bill Belichick. Carroll would go on to the college ranks, winning 2 national championships at USC. That led to his hiring in Seattle. In his 4th year at the helm, Carroll's program achieved the ultimate, winning the franchise's first Super Bowl championship. Now the Seahawks are on the doorstep of immortality. On Sunday, they have a chance to join 7 other teams in NFL history as back-to-back champs. Standing in their way, Bill Belichick's Patriots, the last team to win back-to-back titles.
Thrilled to have the matchup that we have with a great organization and Bill and the way they do things, and they've done so well for so long. It presents just as high-class a matchup for us as we could expect.
Count on their quarterback as one person who realizes how good the Seahawks opponent is.
It's going to be a tough challenge for us. We're up for it, you know, and that's why we're here. That's why they're here too as well. And I think it'll be one of the all-time greatest games. You know, that's what I'm hoping for.
Something that started a few years ago was the joint press conferences with the head coaches. Now you've got Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick on the same stage. You might be a little weary of how that would go, but it was very interesting to see the two of them interacting, sharing some laughs on the big stage, because can't imagine that will be the case on Sunday's big stage. Steve.
All right, Jackie, I bet that was interesting. Thank you very much, as usual. Great job. We have a roundtable discussion. When we come back, we're coming to you live from Arizona. Stay with us.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Putnam Investments. Putnam, new ways of thinking for financial advisors, their clients, and institutions worldwide. And by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the New England Patriots. And by Bank of America, the official bank of the New England Patriots.
That's just taking a look back at the week that was leading up to today for the Patriots, and what a week it certainly was. Joining me now is Mike Reese and Paul Perillo, and let's talk about the matchups here. And let's start with Marshawn Lynch, because that's the key that the Patriots have to go after, or at least have to try and stop. Can they stop him?
Yeah, I think they can, and I totally agree. I think that's the #1 key defensively. And when the Patriots have gotten in trouble defensively this year, Mike, I think it's been when they haven't been able to stop the run. Now, you probably have to go back a little bit to the beginning of the year when it was really a problem, but Baltimore with Justin Forsett also was able to run the ball, and Lynch is one of those guys. You need a lot of helmets around him, more yards after contact than anybody in the league.
And I'll focus on the type of running game it is, that read option with Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch working together, so it's a different type of scheme. But they've seen it a little bit this year with some other teams. Ryan Tannehill, Andrew Luck, with the Jets, Geno Smith. So they've had it before. Discipline on the edges. Rob Ninkovich, Chandler Jones going to be a key.
So Seattle has their running back. The Patriots have theirs as well in LeGarrette Blount. And this guy, shifty, can cut on a dime, but can also run you over, right?
Yeah, he does it all. What I like about him is he gives you the big play potential, and this is going to be an interesting task because Seattle is very tough to run the ball against, but at times they have been susceptible. And I know the numbers are terrific. I think they're 3rd in the league against the run. I think the Patriots are going to have to try to run the ball some. I don't think when they played last Eve in 2012, I think Brady threw the ball about 58 times.
He did.
They don't want that kind of a game plan, I wouldn't think, this time around. How Blount goes, I think the offense might go, and I think that's a tall task.
Yeah, whether it's Blount or Shane Vereen, to me, getting the running game going to be a key. You want to avoid 3rd and 6+ against this Seattle defense, because that's when you can get in trouble, when you're trying to throw the ball against them. And I think we should point out, I know Dan Roach mentioned it earlier in the show, Brian Stork, the center, looks like he's going to play in this game, upgraded to probable.
That's
so
a great
you're going to have your top 5 offensive linemen. Anytime you talk about a back like LeGarrette Blount, you want to always mention those linemen too.
I do want to mention Russell Wilson, because this guy can hurt you with his legs. He can hurt you with his arm. How do you spy on Russell Wilson? Who do you put on Russell Wilson to contain him?
Yeah, I mean, the logical candidate would be a guy like Jamie Collins, but Mike talked about the read option element of this. This is not really a scrambler as much as he is a runner. About 850 yards rushing. I think that what Mike talked about with the edge play, Ninkovich, Chandler Jones, I think this is incumbent on the whole Belichick philosophy of do your job. Don't try to do too much. Those guys need to stay disciplined in the way they attack this. Otherwise, Russell Wilson's going to put the ball in Marshawn Lynch's stomach, take it out, and he's going to be off for 15 yards. It's not really about spying as much, I don't think, in this game.
And when I think about this game plan, I go back to the Packers game against Aaron Rodgers when they sort of sunk down in their rush and were very disciplined. You don't want to have your ends rushing too far up the field and giving Russell Wilson a chance to escape the pocket and extend those plays. So going to be disciplined in the pass rush.
Let's talk about Seattle's secondary. Legion of Boom. Are they vulnerable? Okay, is Sherman still hurting a little bit? Can we take advantage? Can they take advantage?
I'll tell you this, Steve. Sherman? I want to find out early in the game how healthy Earl Thomas is, how healthy Richard Sherman is, and now Cam Chancellor coming up with reportedly a knee bruise later in the week here. I want to test some of these guys. I don't want to try to make my living throwing the ball exclusively on Richard Sherman, but let's find out how the elbow is, if he's able to use his press techniques that he likes to do. Don't give too much respect to these guys. They're very good, but if you ignore one side of the field, I think you're defeating yourself.
And one of the most telling things to me this week leading up to the game was Earl Thomas, their safety, one of the best in the league, if not the best, saying that he has to adjust his tackling technique because of his shoulder. I thought that was extremely significant.
Quickly, prediction time.
I like the Patriots in this game. I've gone back and forth all week, but really tight, 26-23, and I think Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski are the difference.
Pick the Patriots to win the Super Bowl at the start of the year, not going back now, 23-20.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Well, that will do it for this week's edition of Patriots All Access. We're coming to you live from Arizona. Have a great weekend, everyone. It should be a great Super Bowl.